Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. This is the Tuesday's edition of Shagalinku, and this is welcoming you all to the show. Today, we'll be looking at something that is youth related. Okay, we started this series last week, Saturday, and we're looking at youth development and what young people can do to maximize their potentials. Today, we're looking at something also similar in that light. We're looking at farming, we're looking at agriculture, we're looking at everything related to agriculture. So, yeah, when you talk about agriculture, the first thing that comes to people's mind is old men, carrying cutlass and hoes and then digging the ground and all that. But we know the world has revolved and a lot is happening when it comes to agriculture. The mechanical way of doing agriculture now, the technical way, the improved version of doing agriculture now. It's been synthesized, and a whole lot is happening to make agriculture easy. And a worrisome part is that young people are not taking advantage of this very lucrative and opportunity filled profession to key into. But there might be challenges. Maybe banks are not giving enough support to young people to going into this. You find people who even read agricultural engineering or something, they are posted by NYSC to teach in school. So you begin to wonder what happens to all the years of learnings they've done in school. What happens to all that? We are supposed to have them also practicalize in places. Anyway, today I have two guests here. Two will join me now. Two will join us later on as the program progresses. You can also be part of the program. The comment section is there. Please drop your comments and let us know what ways you think that we can make agriculture or farming appealing to younger folks. I mean, we need to also begin to incorporate the sense of belonging for younger folks to know that agriculture is not just for the aged or the elderly and the old ones. If properly harnessed, they too, the young ones, can take over from where the older ones stopped and then make a lucrative business out of it. I have here with me Ambassador Salami Oludare Benjamin. He's from the Ojumo farm in Kabba, Kogi State, Nigeria. And I also have joining me Ediongsenyene Ndunobong, all the way from Akwa Ibom. And he's a sustainable environment advocate and a lead farmer. Two of them will be talking more on how I'm going to be asking them a few things about how they got into farming, what they think about farming, and then we'll talk about the challenges as the program progresses. Josiah Tokpeyemi Hamza will be joining us from the United Kingdom shortly. And then Israel will also be joining from Abuja to talk a little also how he delved into farming and how it is. You too can join us. The comment section is there. Drop your comments. What do you think we can do? If you're a young farmer, this is your topic. Let's share ideas. Let's know the way forward and all that. Once again, my name is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari and welcoming you to the Tuesday's edition of Shagalinku. Okay, Ambassador, you're welcome to the program. Yeah, um, okay, I'm trying to unmute you, Ambassador, so that you could speak. Okay, did you mute it from your end? Okay, Ambassador, you need to mute yourself. So in the interim, while we wait for Ambassador to mute himself, let me bring in Ediongsenyene to talk a little and tell us more about himself. Hello. Okay. Will Hello, Eddie. Can So we will get them on. Ambassador, I'm trying to get you on, but it's telling me you're not connected. Your mic is not connected. You need to connect your mic, Ambassador. You need to connect your mic. I guess because you're using an earpiece, so you need to connect your mic so that we can have you. Okay, it's on now.
I can't
I can hear you
hear
now, Ambassador.
you.
I can hear you now.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
But I can hear you. Can you hear me now? You are still muting your mic. Okay, so let me come back to Ediongsenyene and let's see if he can join us now. Hello. Okay, his network is still booting. The comment section is there. Okay, I got this one from Nana Kwame Leroy, all the way from the United States of America. I said, I would love to farm in Africa. Well, we have very good farmers here, people like Ediongsenyene, and we have others like Ambassador Salami. So, Dr. Nana Kwame, please do come to Africa. We're waiting for you. Edie, can you hear me now? Okay. Okay. So take us through why. Yes. So take us through why you went into farming. I know you're also your AKA is Master MC Smasher. I know you are into event plannings. You are Master of Ceremony and a whole lot. So how did farming start for you? Hello, Ambassador. Your audio is on now. Can you hear me? Hello, Ambassador Salami. Can you hear me now? Okay. Um, our topic is how can agriculture be more appealing for young people? So drop your comments and share your opinions with us. Let's know how you think young people can see agriculture as lucrative, as modern, and all that. So agriculture is not just farming, as in tilling the ground and planting seeds. When you rear animals as well, for those of you people who are in poultry, there is fishing, farming as well. That was what I wanted Ambassador Salami and Ediongsenyene to come on because they've done a whole lot of this, and I really want them to talk about fish farming. Which used to be very. At some point, it was like the in thing, and somehow it just went off and then started coming in again. And all that. So I would really want them to come on and talk more about this. Okay, MC Smasher, if you're there, can you hear me now? Hello. Okay. So I was going to say since your line was breaking, if you could just do an avatar, let's use just your audio and see whether the network will improve because we're still hearing some breaks from you, but you could still talk and let's see how it goes. Yeah.
that was an eating before and subsequently have when the value of the unknown uses in it, maybe value of Akwa culture or the contribution of culture to the economy, not just to food security. Can you hear me, Ambassador? Okay.
Okay. I think we're having a challenge with Ediongsenyene's line. So when he comes back, we'll join in. So yeah, Dr. Nana Kwame Leroy is asking, where is Ambassador Salami's farm located? It's located in Kabba, Kogi State, Nigeria. Yeah. So whenever you want to invest, we'll find a way of linking you with Ambassador Salami, and then you can do all that. So if you're joining us now, the program is Shagalinku TV, and this is a Tuesday's edition. And we're looking at food security, we're looking at farming, we're looking at agriculture, we're looking at how young people can see farming appealing, and then key into it. A lot of times people say there are unemployment, there's so much lack in the land and all that. But then if we tilt towards agriculture and all that, what are we not doing right as a country, as a society, and as a people that is making young people run away from agriculture, from farming, fish farming, poultry, all that? So much is happening in the agriculture sector that young people need to key in. I am also particularly worried about waste. So much waste is also going on. The local farmer doesn't have where to store their produce. So for people like in Jos who are known to have good tomatoes, so what happens when the average farmer can't sell all his produce? It goes perishable and all that. So the government must also begin to put in place structures to encourage, not just encourage newcomers, but also ensure sustainability in all of this. Insecurity is another thing that has been hindering farming. So you say people should go farm, people should feed the nation, and then there's so much insecurity in the land. So farmers can't go to the farm because they are afraid of being killed and all that. So it's a holistic thing that we really need to talk on. I'll still look around and see if my guests are here now, so we could trash the issues here. Hello, hello, Ediongsenyene, can you hear me? Okay, okay. Um, yes, the line is, it's well with your line, but then if you can hear me, I'd also like you to talk about agriculture, and then I'll bring Salami to join us. But Josiah is here from the UK. So let me put in Josiah while we wait for let me put Josiah in while we wait for Ambassador Salami to also join us. The network has been very, very terrible this afternoon. Hello, Josiah. Good to have you again this time. Welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon, Shagalinku. Thank you very much for having me on the program again. I definitely do
Yeah,
appreciate what you do, and yeah, so thank you very much. Yeah, yeah. I had a
yeah.
question you were asking.
So
Okay, go on.
it's a pity. I'd wanted a strong conversation, where yeah, so I wanted a strong conversation where you are here, is here, Ediongsenyene is also here. So we brainstorm about agriculture, because a lot of times young people don't see agriculture as appealing. Sadly, NYSC is also guilty of this. So you find them post youths who read agriculture to schools. Yeah, I know some schools might have agricultural science and all that, but that's not even the point of calling for someone who read agriculture in school. But anyway, let's even start with the nitty gritty. Tell us a little more about yourself and what you've done in the little space for agriculture, because a lot of times people see agriculture like a large scale thing. I interviewed Lady Merlin some time back, and she said we will have food security if everybody grows something at their backyard. Tell us a little more about what you think.
Yeah, from a very early age, I grew up from environment in Oyo State whereby agriculture, farming is very close to home. So planting of crops, maize, corn, and all that was things we're used to from the beginning. I have that joy to see things I've planted, grow. And every day you just go back to have a look and realize that, the blade coming up and things are actually growing. So it's something that gives me an inherent joy to plant. Also, from childhood, we had passion to nurture animals. So we have dogs, we have rams, we have cows. We even have sheep within the environment, and so just the joy of seeing these animals, walk around and play, and how they actually relate as well in a way to interact with mankind. Gave me um, that footing, that background to say, was something I would love to go into. So when I realized I was of age and I could play with little cash, so what I've done with agriculture in the state or your state is I have a little, well, on a very small scale. I'm sure not as the other guests. I would also love to meet with them and be able to collaborate and see how we could make our farm as well bigger. But what we do right now is animal farming. You know, um, yeah. So at the moment, I'm into animal farming. Not on a very big scale, but yeah. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. So the journey all started from the younger age, the joy of seeing things you've planted grow, and also the environment whereby you could see the animals, the way they grow and interact. It's just a joy to behold. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're muted. Can you hear me?
I can't hear anything again.
Shagalinko, can you hear me?
Why young people don't see the need for agriculture, you know, because it's if going by what you have just told us, every child grew up in a farming setting, so to say. Every child grew up seeing their parents plant something around the neighborhood or their backyards and all that. So why is farming not something appealing for young people?
Yeah, if that question was for me, is that for me? Uh, I would say the environment, the enabling
Could you hear me?
environment. Don't forget. All right. Yeah, we should not forget that the way things
Could you
were.
hear me, Josiah?
Yes, I can hear you
Yes,
very well.
yes.
I
I said,
can hear you
why
very
are
well.
young people not appealed?
Well, I think the environment is not enabling. You see, we cannot compare the way things were when I was saying that I was growing, nurturing animals and planting things. I think the environment at the moment is not enabling. So the government needs to create an enabling environment. Also, the issue of security. One thing is for you to venture into plantations, crop, another thing is for you to have this assurance that these things you're actually planting are secured. If I'm going into a particular business and I know that the percentage of success, the percentage of success is low, regardless of my effort, I don't think I will be encouraged to go into it. Another thing I think the government should look at doing, and I personally, when I'm saying government, I'm not talking about the federal government. I'm talking about the government at the local level. The government should look into what we call PPP, public-private partnership. The capital within government scope, what government could lay their hands on in terms of money, is not what an individual could boast of. So I think the government should partner with the current farmers that we have, to ensure that once these farm produce are ready, the government just buy it off them. You understand? So the government should serve as a middleman. So if farming becomes very attractive in terms of reward, I think others will venture into it. At the moment, people are just doing trial and error. It's like you're swimming in the ocean on your own. There is no support, capable support from those who could actually give the support. So I think the government should find a way to support the current crops of farmers that we have. And I'm thinking others will join. I do have friends that are into farming. I have friends in the UK that have farmland in Iwo. I have friends that, it's something that I'm really, really interested in. It's something that I do on a smaller scale as a person. I have friends that do it on a larger scale. But the point of discussion is that there is no enough support. If you look at the roads leading to the farmland, they are not motorable. You understand me? Look at the issues of security. So I'm going to stop here just to give my other colleagues a chance, to educate me as a person. Yeah, so that's what I think.
Yeah, thank you very much. Ambassador Salami would need you to connect your audio. It's telling us we can't have you because your audio is not connected. So I don't know, but if you can hear us, that will be fine. Can you hear us, Ambassador Salami? Okay. So we're still looking on Josiah. I think you are just the only one who could talk for now. I tried adding Ediongsenyene and it's still not connecting. Ediongsenyene, are you there now? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So, okay, good. So please take us through why you think young people don't see it appealing to venture into agriculture.
Hey, for the poor, that wants to they survive. And when they play around there, what do have called a success. So not really see what you have really made life as farmers. So as a young people that are encouraged to farm, and because this I saw it, 10 people job. That is what actually encourage that. So when I see my person that hunting for the view of the what I'm telling them to so if you're telling them what they are doing, so they use the persons. I think they ask for color. I think you go along one of the things we need to do for the youth is to give the mental reach so that agriculture and business is not a priority to do the household. The household something that could take care of a lot of expenses that you do for living. So that is the you can a better the family call you know, we should talk about innovation. What are we doing in this because of course these are companies who was not for innovation. So we should innovative ways of farming. Recently, I've seen some done in Nigeria. Some by proper farmers use to see check the welfare of the crops. You know, they can is that what you can check where there is a farm, where there is food, everything. So if such things can be incorporated in Nigeria, I think we're a long way to encourage the young persons out there. Not me shock you. You go to the banking industry. If you go to the banking industry today, a lot of bankers are graduates of agriculture. They see the project they spend 5 to 6 years. There are no incentives. And if you go to the bank at the end of the month, it's and they found out that. So we should be encouraged. We have probably
okay. Okay.
I think should be considered. You know, is packaging. You know, we sometimes we were fast to very because that looks dirty. And to an daughter, you of course understand what I mean. You're time and you're watching on fire. But that is from the only family, you know, there's you call that. And if this one gets to see a farm that's dirty, they wouldn't be encouraged. Passion for agriculture. Because we found it doesn't encourage your to go to farming. But if you like, if you encourage the equal, see farmer, well, it is cover needs cover really cover needs cover with something to protect himself. First, I'll just the engineer be encouraged. Farming. Now, I went to a construction site and I saw I went to my friend's engineer and I want to become an engineer. When I went to this, I saw my friend all day in as an engineer. So what happens to agriculture? What happens to the agriculture? As we that we can because primary, secondary schools not to ask the student as the case may be. We want to be confused. Tell you that be engineers, doctors, lawyers. What happens to farming? Farming language is pressure. Alcohol is because the university, but because how farmers generally carries itself, we tend to be done. So farmers
okay.
Themselves and
yeah.
I think we encourage a lot of young persons out there into farming.
Okay. Okay, I'll come back to you again. Although your line was flicking, but I could hear when you talked about a lot of people working in the banking sector who are graduates of agriculture. And I think I even mentioned that when I was doing the opening, that a lot of times, even NYSC people post coppers who read agric and agric related field to secondary schools and to primary schools and all that. Mr. Josiah, let me come back to you. I need you to tell me a few things that you think also young people can do, because even if we must improve agriculture and make it appealing for young people, it must be a deliberate and conscious effort. The entertainment industry, the transportation industry, even the banking industry, it was a deliberate effort. You found banks springing up in virtually every street those years before the former CBN governor Sanusi Lamido now merged some of them and felt they were too many. But then it was a conscious effort because the banking industry wanted a boom. So how can we also begin to, as both the banking sector and even the federal government, begin to tilt these young people to liking agriculture?
Oh, thank
Mr.
you very
Josiah.
much. Yeah,
Mm.
I think that's straightforward. Make funding available. Funding that would reach through to the grassroots. We've always said that when it comes to structure, which I think you did mention as well from the initial stage of this conversation, we are lacking in adequate structure that support sustainable growth. We do have a structure, a formal structure, but our structure are not competent to sustain sustainable growth when it comes to youth development, and also which also cut across farming and making food available for the populace, especially when it shows that the number of the population is intending to grow. So I would say to the government, make funding available. And I'm not a fan of this centralization system of governance, because I want the government to reflect what is happening within the locality. So cut across the state government and the local government, even the rep and the honorables, the senate, so come together, make funding available through banking institution. Also, the bank should invest their fund, the money they have to do business with expectation of returns into that area of our economy, because Nigeria is one of the a country that focused on agriculture in the past when it comes to cocoa farming and the like, cassava, you know, cashew nuts, so all these things that are at disposals. If we follow history, some countries, I think Malaysia, took the seed for their oil, the palm oil. Malaysia, I believe, and my learned colleague as well would agree with me on this, or possibly, throw more light on that. I think Malaysia at the moment are the leading farmer when it comes to palm oil. So and they came to take the seed to grow that in our country. What about Ghana? In the UK today, when it comes to Milo, if you go to the shop, go to Peckham, you want to buy Milo from the shop, Ghana's Milo is quite more expensive than Nigeria's Milo. But the seed, this cocoa was taken from Nigeria by Ghana, in those days. And now they have quality production in their cocoa. Why we are dying, we're going down by the day. The government should wake up. This is that there is an inner anger, you know, when you look at the way our leaders are behaving, the way they are parading themselves, what they should focus on. You understand me? So farming is a very rich economy, is a rich form of a business. So the banking sector, through the collaboration with the government, should pump money into agriculture. And the young people, I would say, I happen to be one of the members of the Lagos Chambers of Commerce, and they are doing quite a lot with helping us as young farmers understanding all the requisites to be a successful farmer. So these are education, and in this day of isolations of COVID-19, they have made it possible that you could actually access education on the net. So instead of the young people staying back on the net and doing something that would not be beneficial, the young people should launch out and avail themselves of the available education materials on the internet. So the young people should avail themselves of this learning and find ways to make agriculture accessible for themselves. It's a lucrative business. So the banking should channel their funding into the right thing.
And support. Yeah.
To support the young
and
people.
support. Yeah. So if you're just joining us, you can drop your comments and we'll read them. I'm beginning to see some more comments. First, we had Dr. Nana Kwame Leroy from the US. I think I've read that one before. He was asking where is Ambassador's farm located. And he also said, I like what he's saying. And then he came back to say, I like what Mr. Josiah Environment is saying. I'll still read some more messages here before I bring Ediongsenyene, and this one is from Solomon Ebere. It says agriculture has an image problem. Simply put, for the majority of the world's youth, agriculture simply isn't seen as being cool or attractive. Most think of it only as a back-breaking labor without an economic payoff and little room for career advancement. With an aging population of farmers, it is clear that agriculture needs to attract more young people. This is a global challenge, you know, and thank you very much for that. Ediongsenyene, do you have a response to this? This is from Solomon Ebere, by the way, and thank you, Solomon.
Thank you. That was is correct. I see that culture. I'll get you from this. Look there. So how do you? And you want to push that out, or you try to farming. What actually sees this farm out there? No matter how rich the farm is, will be farming because it's an image of a vegetative farmer who looks poor all the time. So the farm, I do my best to look in at all costs. That is the fun of what I'm doing. I try my best to look. So if I am being encouraged to all young out there who want to go into farming, our farmers have a lot to do so long their image is concerned. In this age of social media, where a lot of things go on there, I share with the public out there. Sharing image of farm in the same environment. So you may talk to young people. So I go to various and all look at his and what we do in his business. So there is no call, but the farmers should have to look at it. They have to encourage all people to but that being said, it's called people. Okay, now, there you are not so much different culture. Just people come on, you do what we love it without doing it and encourage us. So if you want to say that, you will be free. So the way is but it won't be not deny the encourage new and in this 6 months it's 6 months it had about 4 farmers in money to do it right but then if you do it it's over.
Okay. I'll come back again to you, Ediongsenyene. Um, Mr. Josiah, let me read these messages here, and then you could also respond to them. This is from Daniel at Kogi Mills. It says the easy way to make farming appeal to youth is by making all equipment and technology needed to be available and accessible. For instance, if you ask a youth to apply the local manure, he or she might find it dirty or disgusting to hold. But with the foreign type of manure, so many will be willing to farm. What do you have to say about that, Josiah?
Listen, I agree with him. I think the government should both the government and also the private enterprise should make available the needed tools, for farming um, at a very affordable um, price. I think there were days when that is a cooperative. I don't know if you know about the cooperative banking. When one of the things they do was to actually support local farmers. So my parents were involved with sort form of banking then. So I think it's all about the government actually seeing light in the importance of agriculture in our growing, teeming, population. So I would say yes, the government should make the modern tools, make use of artificial intelligence, organize research and development department that looks into the first thing to do is to research into why are young people, not interested in farming? What could make them to be interested in farming? How do we encourage their participation in farming? Research into this, then look into how we can develop based on their response. So then we look at how can we develop something around their concerns about farming. So use technologies to our own advantage when it comes to farming. So I think the box still, stops with the
Lies
government
on the government. Yeah.
and the private enterprise, to
Mm.
collaborate
Please,
together.
yeah. Mr. Josiah, if you can see this message from Queen Acapel Mbanusi, could you help us read it and respond? And I will also call on Ediongsenyene to also respond to it. Please read this one from Abuja. It's from Queen Acapel.
All right. Queen says the following factors account for the reasons why farming is no longer appealing to our youth, who are vibrant and very hardworking. Thank you for saying that about our youth. So one of the points she said is number one, the land tenure system we use, the land tenure system we used to have that allows for easy accessibility to land for farm use is no longer available. Most farmlands are now taken over at will for construction of different sorts. Absolutely, I agree with that. There are also limited markets where farm produce can spot on, can be sold as task force from government agencies have evaded the marketplaces with high task rates. Yeah, I couldn't see the rest of the contributions. Listen, this is a wonderful contributions from Queen Acapel. You know, if we have problem as such, yes, I know that we are growing and we need places to be built for people to live. However, we should go back to the blueprint given to us by the British, you know, the colonial masters. There are places that has been set out, you know, concentrated for farming. Such places should not be taken over for commercial building. And if they have, we need to extend. You understand? We need to find places for them to settle, farm settlement areas, and for them to actually grow their crops. Farmers who would produce what we would eat should not have to face this. And I think the second point goes with what I said earlier about public-private partnership. You know, the government cannot be exonerated from these responsibilities. You know, the government should be the middleman whereby as soon as these crops are produced, you know, they take the burden for looking for buyers away from the farmers. We've all been to school. We know what delegations of responsibility, what's it called, division of labor.
Yeah.
You know, we should not be behind in our thinking. Our process has to be more than the farmer should not be shouldered with responsibilities to look for buyers for their product. The government should be at will to buy them off them, give them the money so that they can go back and invest the money back into the farm. Do you understand? While the government, because the government have the money, the government can preserve. You know, that's another thing. You know, we need to look at the issues of power supply in our country. But the government, if they are willing, they can do all this. So the government can provide a place whereby they can preserve this product until it reaches the final consumers. So I think Edios is about to say something. So that's my point in response to Acapel's comment. Thank you, Acapel. I love that. I love that.
Okay. Ediongsenyene, could you also respond to the message Akapel sent, and then I will bring another one that both of you will respond. It's from Lady Marlene in the United States. She just dropped one here, but we'll read that one. So, Ediongsenyene, can you respond to what Akapel said? Over to you.
Okay. That is very I actually want that contribution. But what I want to say is, if you want to fight food security, every aspect of the labor must come today. July is just some most states do not have farm settlements. And with the farm, you can anywhere in the state. At some point, they learn like kind of balance. And you really have to show because in your state where they have quite online, these places are strictly for farming. And farmers go there to farm. If you want to build your house, you would not have to them. So you will the smells comes from farmers and because you should build your house and not be able to so the government should be able to like the government said that government reserves some areas for farming. This how it is appealing to in practice. You see that we have a lot of farmers to do our farming business. And I'm glad about that. I'm like to you out there. Farming and watching. Expensive. And you are seeing it why to someone that from about 40 years ago. Not a paid job. We expect to earn money to start farming. So partnership. Partnership. Of course, you go to the bank to pay also because you said the interest I will not be more than wages. But Ibom come and bank is too far. It's your house. And interest loans. And of course, grant. It is a long in making sure that you go to family. Because they do this, we are seriously that people can transmitting some loans are serious. Family themselves. And this we will fight the food security. Okay, so it's very right. And I very
Okay. Okay, so let me take this one from Lady Marlene Divinity in United States of America. It says, first, youth are not a priority of government. Youth are often let down by government. They must be treated by the private sector who have communications with government. When a youth is empowered and trained in agricultural skills, he can grow his own food for himself and community. Such a beautiful one. And thank you, Lady Merlin. And it's good to know that you're joining us from the United States of America. And this is a Tuesday's edition of Shagalinko TV. Sorry, some of my guests are really having challenge in joining, internet challenge. But Ediongsenyene is with us here. He's live with us from Akwa Ibom. We're supposed to also have Ambassador Salami Oludare Benjamin from Ojumo Farms in Kabba, Kogi, but somehow he's been going in and out of the network. So I'll bring him on as soon as he comes in to join us. Okay. MC Smasher, I will come back to you and ask you something very pertinent. But let me also ask Josiah this, because Lady Marilyn just pointed something very important. I remember when I had you as my guest, Josiah, we talked about if government doesn't appreciate young people, what is the role of the young person to also self-develop themselves? And Lady Merlin is even bringing the discussion with a new thinking outside the box. So how can, because it seems like private sector government listen to private sector better. So how can private sector tilt farming and agriculture and sell it to the government while being able also to train young people to understand and embrace it, so can private sector become like the middleman between the government and the youth, responding to Lady Marlin's message from the US? What do you think?
All right, I think there's something very important about the question she's asked. Is a very important question, but I'm seeing it from a different perspective. She said, first, youth are not a priority of government, right? Youth are often let down by government. They must be so. That's important. That first sentence phrase is like the first step before the other. So what can the youth do? If you know that this is the situation, what is obtainable, I think we must encourage young people participation in politics. Youth participation must be encouraged, because no matter how the private sector are ready to team with the government that does not have the interest of the young people at heart, right? So if the government decides not to respond, so I think to solve this whole problem of government attitude towards a young teeming population, the young people must then take the bull by the horn, come into engage in everything that has to do with political aspirations within your domain. I think that's number one. Now, if peradventure the young people are not able to get their hands to get hold of power, to be able to make decisions that will be useful for themselves, so what can the private sector do to encourage participation, to encourage the government to invest in agriculture? I think the power lies within the government, really, because in my head, I'm thinking of using what you have to get what you want. Okay, so the government can, and again, it's the government. You see, so what I think the government could do, to ensure the private sector focus on encouraging agriculture is to make the levies, the charges, on funding on agriculture more attractive. So, say for instance, if the Central Bank of Nigeria is making funding available, they should make more funding available for those within that sector that they want to encourage. You understand me? And also, the private sector who wants to team up with the government, should be encouraged to do so by making sure what they get from them, they tax the private sector by trying to engage in agriculture is not as much as what they tax them in other sectors. As a result of that, the private sector will have funding, we have resources needed to be able to train the young population and also to ensure that we get results. The government can attach what I call like an incentive, something to ensure that the private sector actually work as we want them to work. So say for instance, you say to them, depending on the number of youth you are able to turn into farmers, determines what you get at the end of the day. So the private sector has no choice than just to go and hit the nail on the head, and do what they are supposed to do and not divert the funding into something else. That's what I have to say. Good question again. Good question.
Yeah, Lady Marlene was the lady I asked that told me when she was on the show sometime last year that there will be food security if everyone planted something at their backyard. And that has kept me thinking even up till now. And I'm like, she said we take a lot of things for granted. Young people are always looking for huge money to start up farming, that even from your balcony, that you could plant something that you can eat with. I've still not recovered from that what she said then. Okay, we're wrapping up now. I know we'll bring all of us back again because I don't really understand this network. But MC Smasher, um, take us through a few challenges that you've gone through because it's like some people have said, sending messages that why a lot of young people will never go into agriculture is that when you say agriculture, the first picture that comes into their mind is one old man tilting the sweating and all that, and then thinking of manure, pouring manures, and it's dirty and all that. But so what are some of the challenges you faced as someone who is a lead farmer, and how do you think everyone can come into supporting? Because someone has also said it that the crop of farmers now will be facing out soon. We need younger people to see how lucrative this is and come in. So take us through quickly the challenges you faced, and let's wrap up from there.
Okay, a quick my personal experience. One, I would say something just it's passion.
Yeah,
We
go
don't have
on.
passion for it. No matter how much is made for you, you can never make progress in that business, in that regard. So if you don't have passion for farming, even if you out, you waste it. Yes, you work for infrastructure, a big money, and you don't have to utilize it. So it's one of the reasons one of the things challenge. Then two, lack of mentors and flow. There's a lot of big farmers out there. See the young generation interest. And because of the things we do, because they fundraise the generation. So because they feel like I don't want to mentor, I want to feel things they are not from experience. There are big hobby and animals and aquaculture has to do with experience. Doesn't really have to do both important. But when you read, have good if you practice and if there's a difference, it should be better. What is the so that mentorship they found out that who actually is to make and focus on the young people so that of course they coach and build finance to see doing and two support from government. Not support a vision of family like I talked about the settlement. And of course, if loan, some loan, some loans are provided for your farmers, I think to go a long way in encouraging young graduates of cultural discipline to come farming. And not just on the ground. You know, we got the funding for yeah, the one this is nothing. This one the new direction of the economy to record other natural resources. Agriculture should be a very much fun. What the base of GDP was agriculture. So if you do this, grant to your farmers to encourage lack of finance, no matter beautiful the looks, it needs money to inject into agricultural venture. So finance is a problem, and that is done a lot of people. So finance and personal nutrition. So the kind of thing I would say really but we have a lot more. We don't have opportunities. So either opportunities for your farmers. First, have show them. Say show that is it gets open up and show young people. Take farmers to a state, and then you can imagine really effect. This training is such training to have on a state people young people. So look it is
Okay, we're wrapping up now. I'd like Mr. Josiah to, okay, he's not there, but I would have loved him to just, in one word, in 30 seconds, just tell us, yeah, in 30 seconds, what's your parting word? We need to come back and really do this. I really am not happy how the network yanked off Ambassador Salami. He has a huge farm in Kabba. In fact, he got some support from outside the country where he's doing fish farming and all that. And we were supposed to also showcase that here so that everyone who could want to support. And Ediongsenyene also has another one, and we really wanted to talk extensively about it. So we'll just look for a time where we know the network will be okay again, and then we'll come back and do this. But Mr. Josiah, as we wrap up, what's your final word to everyone?
Thank you very much. My final word will be based on what we've taken out of this conversation. The government should please change the image of farming. You know, reorientation. As a farmer in Nigeria, the issues we are facing is lack of trust. You know, no young people want to be trusted to do certain things for a long time. You know, you just want to make quick money. You know, I want to say to the government as well: go to higher institutions, make farming, make farming part of what everyone must do. You must grow a seed and let them actually so that they can begin to see that farming is not dirty, farming is not something you should run away from. Everyone within the educational sector must grow a seed. At the end of the day, you get markings for that. And lastly, you know, the government should actually take responsibility the same way they recruit teachers. The government should start recruiting farmers and give them a massive, a ready farmland for them to plant and nurture on. So thank you very much for having me once again today. It's been a pleasure, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. So I'll come back to my Uyo man, and let him also sign out. Apologies for your network. Even when we were test running, it was still fluctuating and all that. But I know it's Africa. Don't worry, we'll get there. I'll bring you back. Don't worry. I think we're still doing series on food security. On Saturday, we're having someone from Lagos and Jetta. So I'll still find a way of just bringing you back so we celebrate some of the things you do. But on your final word, your parting note, what would you like to say to young people?
Okay. A young person. As a young person, as a young money man, because we have a short term, in big time you're making so much paying how, but if you have we have to people don't be afraid of how this is you don't expect and we also them but the government the people that are doing living into when you now I know how this works and that's just for people to the banner bigger but it wasn't a passion you have this you do this so for me the little society finds us with peace that in fire and start with and do from your side calling from family compound you start something and you time is to belong to something very
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And thanks to everyone who joined us. I must say thanks to all our viewers, everyone who sent a message to Dr. Nana Leroy, all the way from United States of America. And thanks, Lady Marlene. It's good to see you again. It's been a while we had you on the show. Please do find time to join. I know you're always busy, especially now that is a season for farming and all that. Lady Marlene is another very passionate woman who does farming. She's in the United States of America. And yes, thanks to Mr. Josiah Okpayami Hamzat, all the way from the United Kingdom. Thank you so much for finding time to join us. Sorry to Ambassador Salami Oludare Benjamin. He was also supposed to be one of the guests, but network just did what it did with him. Okay. And lastly, to Ediongsenyene, Ndunobong, thank you so much. He's a sustainable environment advocate and a lead farmer in Uyo, Akwa Ibom. So sorry your audio was cracking, but then we picked one or two things. And yes, thank you to everyone who joined. Let's make it the date on Saturday. We'll still continuing on food security, and we're looking at what we can do in terms of food security and the pandemic. That's what we'll be discussing on Saturday. And I'll be having Mr. Pascal all the way from Lagos and Lady Jetta all the way from Abuja to talk about this. Let me also thank CS DevNet and Padja who supported this episode of the program. Thank you so much. And we truly, truly appreciate. And till I see you on Saturday, take care of yourselves and remember that no matter what it is, our young people, you need to wake up, you need to be innovative, you need to find ways to put your talent into show. I remember when the entertainment industry was also growing up, we heard stories like this that the government didn't support. The likes of Kanayo, Kanayo, Onyeko Wenu, Ngozi Nwosu, they all had to come together to build the industry we look up to today. That Nollywood is one of the highest ranking film industry in all over the world. Netflix, a whole lot of film, the Genevieve's now and all that. But it wasn't rosy like this when they started. They paid the price. So I think a couple of youths like MC Smasher, like others, should come together and be doing what they are doing. You may think nobody's seeing, but the truth is, someday you might just get support that you never really expected. Okay, before I go, I'll quickly take these messages that came in here. Maria Ramdat said, I agree with Lady Merlin. That's from Mariam Ramdat. Another one from Mariam says, I totally agree, sir. It must be implemented within the school curriculum. Yeah, it's very, very important. Grow them from small. When we teach kids on the importance of agriculture, they grow up you really learning. But the snag, like I said when we started, there must be a conscious effort. It's not as if some farmers are not trying. So even the ones who are self-sponsoring themselves, their goods get perished because there's no storage facility. There are some areas where people are very good with fruits and all that. If you go to that place in the evening, you find a lot of fruits perished because there are no storage facilities. Tomatoes, so many other things that their lifespan is short. We need the government to invest in this because this is a very capital intensive one. So yes, I agree with you also, Miriam. And this is from Edwin. Kwase Edwin says, yeah, thank you so much, Kwase. And thanks to everyone who joined us. Till I see you all on Saturday, God willing. My name is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabaria and saying thanks for joining us on Shagalinku. Till we see you, God bless you all and have a beautiful, beautiful Tuesday. Bye bye.